Hard to see here, so people kind of get ready for that to come in here in the city. We're going to track it for you. Emily?
All right, thanks for that excellent report. So we have meteorologist John Slater who came in his tennis attire, by the way. He's ready to roll. Yeah, it's time off. That is dedication. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the latest velocity. And we are tracking still at least 60 mile per hour winds moving into the metro at this time. Now, I will say, I never want to say that things are bolting down because it's not. These are still 60 mile per hour winds, potentially could hold up to 70 mile per hour winds. Moving into the village, just about to move into Oklahoma City, down through Moore. It looks like it's trying to pulse up a little bit by Mustang, maybe a little bit higher winds here, just northeast of Yukon, heading towards the village. These are straight line winds moving east. Now switching over to reflectivity, this is still a severe storm from Tuttle down through Chickasha to Surreal to Rush Springs. That's going to be moving southeast towards Lindsay, Marlow, and eventually heading towards Elmore City. Switching over to velocity, you can still see some of those stronger ones moving through Chickasha. Let's go to Chris McBee, who is tracking some storms heading into the South Metro. Chris, Slater on his way in is talking about the gust front, a little bit high base. Can you see the gust front rolling in, and what have you noticed so far?
Well, I'm on the Bailey Turnpike, not too far northeast of Chickasha, and I can tell you the gust front hit me. I had a blast of wind come in from the west. I'm in a heavy GMC Yukon, and it moved my whole SUV. I could feel that wind come in. So definitely the highway driving is getting a little bit more treacherous. I've also had some very, very close lightning strokes too. It's pretty stormy out here on the Bailey. The rain is not that heavy just yet, but this is a fast-moving line of storms that you've been talking about, so it's going to overtake the highway pretty quick here. But like I said, just trying to get up towards the metro, towards some of these stronger wind gusts, that are coming into the west side of the metro right now. So the line is definitely catching the Bailey Turnpike. My visibility is going to go down here very soon. I've got frequent lightning. I've got strong wind coming out of the west, and the rain is only getting heavier. So definitely warrants that severe warning. And as this comes into the metro, I'll let you know what conditions look like, Emily.
Okay, thanks for that report. Yeah, we appreciate our eyes on the ground here. We need our ground truth from our storm trackers, and they always do an amazing job. Let's go ahead and take a look at a track. After that, I want to show some fresh video we have coming in of the 60 to 65 mile per hour winds moving into El Reno. So this is a track of the storm moving into the metro. It's changing on the fly. The Village, 12:45 p.m. Let's see, OCU at 12:47 p.m. Look at that, KFOR is on there too. Trying to keep up with this as it's updating on the fly. Edmond at around 12:47. So this will continue to march east, locally heavy rain. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of this video we have from El Reno of those stronger winds moving in. There we go. Yeah, you can see the winds picking up. Trees blowing over. Now, thankfully, it looks like it's just 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, but not as high as what we saw earlier, 76 mile per hour wind that happened in Fort Cobb. Let's go ahead and go to Max 3 for the latest. And we continue to track this line of storms moving southeast into Edmond, into Oklahoma City, into Tuttle, into Amber, down through Chickasha. So if you're just tuning in, this is the setup. I'm actually just going to click back on the fly. Look at this 3-hour loop. The storms began to the northwest, and for the past several days, the models have not been taking this fully into account. It's been dwindling in the future tracks, right? But this has been holding together. Not only that, but gaining momentum as it's been moving south and east. So we have a severe thunderstorm watch that remains in effect from central to southern Oklahoma until 4 p.m. In addition to that, possible development later today out west. We're going to see how these storms impact those later storms. This actually could be a good thing, taking away some potential energy for the severe overnight weather that we've been expecting. So the severe storm continues to move east into Edmond, into OKC, into Moore and Tuttle. This is going to be heading into Norman. Severe storm there. Let's head out to Chris McPhee. Actually, we just talked to Chris. Let's go to Eric Dixon. This is on the northern side of the metro, tracking this as people are heading out on their lunch hour. The storms are picking up. I know it's getting a little fast. We got alerts on our phone. Man, it looks like the roads are busy and the winds are hitting. Eric.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Emily, I'm over here at I-35 by the zoo right now, tracking south. Getting really close to the front of this storm. You can kind of see it off in the distance there. Definitely, it's kind of like what John Slater is saying. It's really high base. There's not a lot of structure with it, but there's definitely a lot of wind and a lot of torrential rain. So that wind is going to just drive that rain right into your windshield, and it's going to be hard to see here. And the West Metro's already getting it here. So I'm on the east side of the Metro here, so it's going to be here really shortly here. So heads up. It's time to button things up, get inside real quick. I haven't seen a lot of lightning in the area just yet, but that can change here real quick. It's kind of like what Chris Hughes talked about. That lightning safety. We got to keep an eye on that. But again, the storm hasn't quite got here. It's got a few sprinkles. And those winds haven't get here by the zoo on I-35. Tracking south in it, taking everybody over towards probably different. We're going to keep you forewarned on that. Emily?
Thanks for that, Eric Dixon. And oh my goodness, yeah, we don't like seeing people stuck on the roads when that heavy rain rolls through. Now, I will say for future traveling, at least we're not looking at any hail. That's when people really panic and park under the overpasses and all that. So we aren't seeing any very heavy hail. In fact, I haven't really seen many hail reports at all out of this. Not many hail reports. What's happening is this line is going out and it's mainly these damaging wind threats. Let's try and take a look at velocity. This has a history of producing 60 mile per hour winds in the El Reno area. And earlier, at the beginning of the newscast, near Fort Cobb, produced a 76 mile per hour wind gust towards the southern edge of this line. So you can see the highest wind probably moving into the village. I will say it's gone down a little bit, so this looks more like 60 mile per hour winds moving into the metro. That's certainly great news. Switching east towards Choctaw, heading towards the clouds, towards Pink. Switching over to our reflectivity, you can see the severe storm barreling down over Chickasha, down into West Springs and Barlow. Look at all this lightning, my goodness. Now, let's say you get a bunch of water localized flooding out of it. These storms are moving at 45 miles per hour. So, yes, we're going to get some rain out of it, but not an incredible amount of rain when it's flying by that fast. And damaging winds will be the main threat here. There's still a threat of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, especially on the southern end of this line. And that will continue to progress off to the east, southeast, moving into Velma, towards Comanche. Let's go ahead and take it out to Chris McVie right now, who's tracking the southern metro. And Chris, looks like you're heading into some of the heavier rain right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on the Bailey Turnpike, Mid Creek area right now, just past the Norman Spur and everything like that. Heading northeast, you can see how heavy the rain is. It's almost blinding at times. I've got the wipers up all the way. Had, like I said, a big gust of wind back down in Graves County. The gust that caught me. The wind doesn't seem quite as strong now that I'm a little bit further to the northeast. But the rain is definitely a lot heavier. I've still got a lot of frequent lightning as well. No hail that I've really experienced today at all, like you were saying a moment ago. But yeah, the rain is definitely very strong. Wind is still pretty strong. It's not damaging metal, I don't believe, at this time, but definitely strong wind. Definitely a lot of spray out here on the highway. So visibility is very low. So not the best time to be out traveling. But like you said, it's going through at 45 miles an hour. It goes through fairly quickly, hopefully we won't have any problems with flooding either, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thankfully, these are moving at 45 miles per hour. I'm not concerned about flooding. But we are still concerned that it is a lunch hour and on Friday. People are going to be busy out the road.
Better be careful, dude.
Hydroplaning at times, especially watching Air Gibson earlier in that construction zone, because to make it easier, 60 mile per hour winds, you're going to have to hold on tight to the steering wheel for that one. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the overview as we still have this line of storms barreling south of New Mexico. Here's thunderstorm watch remains in effect. Remains in effect until 4 p.m. So this is just a wider view. Look at the sky. The side rest of your storm is just over almost the entire watch box. A couple of little wind reports for you over the past hour from Mezen at Fort Cobb with 76 mile per hour winds that happened clear as it rolls through. So far for the metro area, I've seen just a 55 miles per hour winds. We also heard reported a 60 mile per hour gust, as well as a 15 mile per hour gust for Yukon, and then earlier a 69 mile per hour gust for Watonga. We continue our team coverage, and we have, okay, John Slater talking here. He's trying to help me out. Let's go next one real quick. There we go, and you can see a time lapse of the storms rolling into the metro. So how about that? Incredible. Look at that. Oh, it's not a time lapse. No. That looks like a time lapse. No, it's the gust front though coming through. There you go. So this is a live view. I mean, it almost looks like a time lapse with the way that the water is moving so quickly, but no, that represents the gust front. So the 60 mile per hour wind now moving through Oklahoma City. So how about that? There's a live view. I think it's John Slater's history having another meteorologist's eye on storms, right? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the latest, and we continue to track these showers and storms racing off to the south. This is a huge severe thunderstorm warning, and zooming into the latest for Oklahoma City. Still severe, okay, but not looking quite as strong as it was earlier in the West Metro. It looks like the storm report's matched. So when I was looking at the Mesonet matching wind gusts this past hour, we've had 55 to 60 mile per hour gusts in West Metro, and now it is tilting down a little bit. That being said, we still have to watch out for about 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts in East Oklahoma City, locally heavy rain. This line is about to move in the research and into Choctaw and more, also into Norman. And switching over to velocity, you can see where the highest winds are located right now. You see earlier how we had that slight speed for 30-minute route moving from small Yukon into the village. That's what was supposed to be about 60 miles per hour. Now it's going down a little bit as it continues to veer off the speed. And then this line of storms extends down into Milton, into Dibble, into West Springs. It's so concerning A lot more lightning here from Chickasha down to Rush Springs. So there's high reflectivity, heavy rainfall, some hail with it, but it's primarily a damage to wind threat. As we switch over to velocity down here, we see some of those higher winds heading into Newcastle towards Norman, towards Planters, and severe off to the south and east. Notice the line extending south into Rush Springs and Lindsay. It looks like a brand new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for this line. This includes Belmo, where this is the tail end of it. It's going to be moving into Katy towards Paul Valley, towards Manette, within the next 45 minutes to an hour. Stay tracking that. Farther down the line, previously severe, no longer the case, with showers moving to south to Oklahoma. You'll have to see that place moving in. Let's go back to our trackers right now. One of our trackers, let's go to Eric Dixon, who's also been flagged from Metro. Eric, what's the location and how are people handling this heavy rain during this 1 hour?
Hey, I'm over here on I-35 and the I-46 to Amarillo Junction, just kind of making my way a little bit west here, kind of going right into that front, as that gust front kind of coming right into my windshield here, starting to get flying rain. People are slowing down, I'm doing about 35 on the highway right now, so it's definitely here. A lot of driving rain. I don't really think too much lightning in the city, but I'm probably got a little bit of a gust, like 40 to 50, going around the Amarillo Junction. We're going to make our way south on I-35 here shortly, but definitely, picking it up here. So we're going to keep track of it.
Okay, well, thanks for that. Yes, still very heavy rain. Lunchtime on Friday, it's busy, people are out south, and so it's definitely slows traffic down. Watch the hydroplaning. I think in that hail we can concerned about, but at this point it looks like it is dropping back about 50 to 60 miles per hour wind, which is more great. And we want to continue our team coverage with meteorologist John later here. He's going to be diving in a little bit. Hey, John, let's talk about severe weather winds later today. So this could actually be a good thing. Of course, some people even a marginal already for the storms tonight, but this could be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. This storm coming through will definitely keep our temperatures down. So just moves on through, and then it stays cloudy, and we finally start to break out with sunshine. We might not hit rain cool behind the system. Temperatures are dropping into the 70s and into the 60s as the heavy rain comes on through. So that will kind of stabilize the atmosphere later today. But way out west, we have seen a lot more sunshine, so we probably are getting pretty unstable out through western Oklahoma and especially the Panhandle areas. So more storms may form out there later today and make a run for western and even central Oklahoma later on today. But that remains to be seen because, again, this is a pretty big complex of storms coming through central Oklahoma. Will definitely have an impact on what kind of weather, if any kind of weather, we develop a little bit later on today. But Emily, as you were saying, as I zoom on in here on radar, it looks like it's been really pushed out in terms of strong straight line winds. Just to the west of Oklahoma City, where we had those winds gusting up close to 80 miles per hour to the west there. And now they're just not quite as strong as they were earlier, that's for sure. And the hail is basically not really existing at all. This is the hail indicator that we're looking at, the VIL we call it. Vertically integrated liquid water content in the storm, if I can say it. And there's a little bit of hail down in the southern part of this complex, but nothing really here in the metro in terms of any significant hail coming down right now. That's good to know. And the wind speeds, well, you can see that blowing out, but you can see they're not as strong. There's the stronger winds, out there in Canadian County when it came on through, and right now they're just not as strong. And looking at Mesonet, we're seeing 40, 50 mile per hour winds right now on average. There could be some locally higher enhanced areas where you might get a 60, 65 mile an hour wind gust. We still have that severe thunderstorm warning going all the way to the east side of Oklahoma City and beyond. So we're watching it closely, but right now it is still severe, Emily, but it looks like it's weakening a little bit, but don't let it go down. Still some pretty good wind with this, and heavy rainfall and lightning is always a threat. So that's the way it's right now.
Okay, thanks for that team coverage. Yes, and we have some new video coming into the Forewarned Storm Center. Let's take a look at this video from Edmond. Check it out, how to hear the sounds of the gust fronts moving in. That's right, North Edmond. Woo. The trees have been through it lately, haven't they? Man, shout out to our Oklahoma trees. They have to be hardy to deal with the ice, the wind, and everything. Live wind gusts at this time. So what's happening is we've seen this before too, behind a big storm complex, a line of storms. You can have a little area of low pressure forming, a wake low, and that's what's happening in northwestern Oklahoma, where we've had gusts around 35 to 40 miles per hour. So that's going to be pushing into central Oklahoma behind the line. So after the storms pass, you may notice the winds whipping up quite a bit as well. Okay, taking a look at the latest, severe thunderstorm warning continues to push off to the south and east. This is mainly at this time for about 60 mile per hour winds, as well as technically could have some hail. I have not seen any hail reports. It's not the main concern out of this, as well as locally heavy rain. Severe thunderstorm watch continues for central and southern Oklahoma until 4 p.m. So taking a look at the latest, continues to move south and east, charging through. This began early this morning in the Panhandle, just as a few tiny little storms, and then blossomed into this. The line of storms moving through Edmond, Oklahoma City, more into Norman, heading towards Choctaw. And as I move down the line, storms continuing into Dibble, into Lindsay, still very heavy over Chickasha and Amber. And looking at the latest winds, John Slater was talking about this as well. When I first moved through the West Metro, that's where we had 60 mile per hour winds. Now it is dropping back a little bit to about 45 or 50 mile per hour winds. Let's go to Chris McBee for the latest, as he's still tracking these storms in the Metro. Chris, what's your location? What can you tell us?
Yeah, I'm on I-44, right at about southwest 134, kind of the west side of Moore. The rain is absolutely blinding out here. Visibility is very low, and traffic is down to probably about averaging about 50 miles an hour here on I-44. I have seen a few people parked under overpasses, even though there's no hail around right now. Really want to tell people not to do that. It's very hazardous. I had a guy do it right in front of me, and I had to go around him just, at highway speed. And it's a very dangerous thing to do. Please do not do that. But yeah, I'm heading up through the West Metro right now. The rain is very, very heavy. The wind seems to have come down a little bit. I've definitely had some strong wind gusts, but nothing in the last few minutes. Lightning has come down at my location as well. So hopefully the worst of this storm will pass the metro fairly soon, and hopefully we can get out of this without any flooding concerns, Emily.
Yeah, thanks for that. We did look out that this is speeding up quite a bit, 45 to 50 miles per hour. Let's go back to the radar. I want to give you a forecast for your weekend. I know it's Friday, a lot of eyes on the weekend. So this line of storms continues to move into Lindsay towards Marlow. You can still see some higher winds moving through Marlow at this time. So it's still potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. We're not done yet, guys, although it has weakened quite a bit as it moves through the metro, which is certainly great news. Moving farther south, storms over Velma into Healdton. These are not severe in south central Oklahoma, but it is bringing us our nice little drink of water. Line of storms extending up through Guthrie, moving into Luther. That is the northern end of this severe storm, but again, pulsing down. The severe thunderstorm warning does continue off to the east, so moving into the east metro. Farther to the north, tracking some showers over Enid, over Fairview, over Sealing, and Oakwood and Thomas. So a wider view indicating that this is all moving south and east. We have the center of the heat dome located just south of us, and that is going to be building and strengthening and bringing us some hot temperatures. Here's our OKC cam. Yeah, it's wet out there. It's stormy. Severe thunderstorm warning continues. Look what it does, though. 76 degrees. Isn't that fantastic? Check this out. Winds at the airport, 36 mile per hour westerly wind, gusts at 49 miles per hour. So on the backside of the storm rolling through, you're going to have the winds really whipping up too. So it's not just the front side of the storm, but as it passes by. Temperature is down to the mid 60s out west, some nice rain cooled air. And wow, isn't that refreshing, especially when you see the 7-8 coming up. Winds really ramping up in central Oklahoma as these storms pass. So you're going to have the strong storms ahead of the line, strong winds ahead of the line, the storms, and then the winds picking up as the storms pass. So the storms continue to move into southeastern Oklahoma this afternoon. Behind it, though, we're clearing. The atmosphere could recover enough to allow for some severe weather this evening out west. There is a slight risk of severe weather out west for that reason. So here's a look at that storm that will continue to move south and east this evening and overnight, especially across southwestern and south central Oklahoma, where it's warm enough for the atmosphere to recover. And then it's out early, and after that, it is all about the heat. We're going to be looking at The heat index tomorrow potentially up to 115 in southern Oklahoma, and excessive heat watch is in effect. 109 for OKC. I know it's hard to believe right now when it's raining and cool, but yeah, that's what's heading our way. 89 degrees for OKC. Here's our 7-day forecast. I want to give you a look of your weekend. So storms obviously likely right now, and then tonight another chance, although for the metro I'm not expecting it to be severe. Watch out though to the south and west. Climbing to the mid 90s for this weekend. Triple digit heat into next week, and then
Heavy rain, and there's still that wind to contend with. So if you're out on the lake or pool, you probably want to get inside. But it's definitely not looking as strong as it did earlier. Back to you,
Tom. It's definitely come down, but yeah, I see the heavy rains, the lightning, and again, occasional wind gusts that can lower the visibility. But overall, the trend has diminished. In our reporter Tevis Phyllis just emailed us and said it's a crazy wind, as she described it there in Norman. As again, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds are now blowing through the Norman area with that rain approaching your area as well. Let's go back to links one. We'll talk about on radar.